Do you want to know how to rotate your hips properly in the downswing and get into a great impact position like your favorite touring pro? In this next video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do and what to avoid for you to make a great downswing. Keep watching. Start playing incredible golf and lower your handicap today with my free 3 Secret Moves video, link in the description. Hey, it's Troy from hittingitsolid.com here. Thanks for watching. This video is about hip rotation in the downswing. We've all seen those images of the tour pros at impact, and they get in that fantastic impact position with everything opened up, and then this great position with lag, and they're just compressing the golf ball with their irons and smashing their driver. And it looks like this from down the line. Everything is opened up. But how can you do that, and what's stopping you from rotating your hips in the downswing like they do? Well, I can tell you there's two things that are stopping you from getting that hip rotation. Now, the first one is sliding. So if I set up to one here, at present you might be doing this. As you're getting into your downswing, your hips are going like this, and the hips are ending up on the other side of your foot. And as soon as you do that, what's going to happen is your hands and arms will take over and you'll get into some sort of flipping motion like this. And from there, your consistency is compromised, a lot of tough shots. And also, from this angle, if you bump your hips like this, your upper body tends to tilt back and you get into this really awkward position with your spine. Again, as I said, you'll struggle to hit consistent golf shots from there. And the other reason why you might not be able to rotate is how you move your right foot, or what it does as you start your downswing. So if you're someone that does this, you get high onto that right foot really quickly and you really drive that leg in this position here. And all that does, it inhibits your rotation. You don't use the ground force to be able to rotate. Club comes across very steep. So from this angle, like this, you're not using the ground for power, which means you can't rotate your hips. Come down very steep. You're in a very awkward position, and that just makes it extremely difficult to rotate your hips properly. So what should you be doing? Okay, let's think about what our right leg does, or our right hip, to be able to help both hips rotate in the downswing. So with your right hip, we don't want it coming up like that. We've spoken about that. What we do want it to do for you is, as you start down, I want you to feel as though you're pushing that right leg sort of in a little bit on this angle outwards like that. Because what that will do, it has a great effect on the other hip, your lead or your left hip for a right-hander. If I push out like that, this causes your lead hip to open up and rotate as well. So watch what I do this in slow motion. I'm pushing out, causes those hips to, really helps me rotate by getting force into that lead, that trail foot like that. This little movement here helps you really open up and rotate those hips nicely. I'm using the ground for power from this angle. Keeps my hips back so I maintain my posture better. Let's have a look at it from here. I'm keeping those hips back, I'm allowing them to rotate just by pushing in to that right side there. I'm using the ground for power as well. Now what that does, and this is how the lead leg or your left leg for a right-hander works, as we're doing this move, both these legs will square up. I'll get about equal pressure. Just when I get to about here somewhere in this downswing, I'll get about equal pressure into either side, into the ground. And from here, that lead hip will externally rotate like this. It'll go back behind me like this. Hips will rotate open, get into that fantastic impact position. Iron driver works for both. So from this angle, we go to the top. You can see there we're getting to square. hips have rotated a square, I've kept my posture, and then that lead hip externally rotates out of the way. We get into that fantastic impact position. That's how your hips should work in the downswing. Now, really important, let's hit a shot, and I'll show you how you can practice this to really build this into your game. Okay, the best way to practice getting these hips to rotate properly in the downswing, I'm going to do a couple of really slow rehearsals and I'll hit one for you. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to the top really slowly, I'm pushing out on that right as I spoke about, getting those hips to rotate open and then through. I do a few slow rehearsals like that. Let's hit one and give it a go. So I'll do one really slowly just so I can see what I'm doing. Getting that push out and then through. That's my feeling as I'm hitting this shot. Obviously this is just practice. Out on the golf course we don't want to be thinking about that. But for practice that works perfectly fine. So let's hit one just with those same feels. See, I've rotated my hips through nicely, made pretty good contact. And that's a great way to practice to get those hips rotating properly in the downswing. Now, if you think that will help you out, make sure you smash that like button. I really appreciate that. I've got a video coming up that you really need to watch because this is a continuation from this video and it's talking about the hip action in the downswing as well. It goes into a bit more detail about how those hips should level out or even point down on the downswing. So make sure you watch this video, it's coming up.